Hello and welcome everyone. This is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, the vegan live stream that's not hosted by a sociopath, a narcissist, or a grifter. No, I am your host. So this is when we gather. This time I'm actually on 3 minutes early. I want to thank everyone who joined us about 10 minutes ago for the live video premiere of a brand new music video for a pretty much new song that Angie and I of Love Spirals made. It was a recreation of a Love Spirals Downward song from the 1998 Flux reissue, which just today is exactly, it came out 25 years ago on August 11th, 1998. I remember that time of my life very well. So anyway, about a year ago, I found some files on an old computer of some of the source files for that song from the song Misunderstood, aka I'll Always Love You. I go, hey, this is cool. I got that funky bass line and a few other samples. Hey, I can actually remake this from scratch. And I didn't realize at the time it was going to have a nice Home of the Flux reissue. So yeah, if you didn't know, we did a live listening party last night on Bandcamp, the Love Spirals Downward's Bandcamp page. So, but yeah, today we're celebrating the release of that, and one of the ways to celebrate it was this brand new remake of a Love Spirals Downward's classic. So yeah, thanks for everyone that watched the video music, what was that called? Just a music video premiere. And yeah, by the way, Angie put that footage all together, of footage that we had that she had filmed throughout the past year or two or so in our local area here, stretching from, I believe, as far as north as Palos Verdes Peninsula to as far south is maybe Huntington or Newport Beach. Maybe Laguna got snuck in there too. But yeah, just shots of our lives here that we that we enjoy in Southern California. It's pretty nice here, despite me wanting to move away in the future. So anyway, it's that time now. It's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Actually, I'll leave a link if you want to check out our Bandcamp page for that. I'll put a link down there. Maybe Angie could put one down there later too. Oh, a little bit of San Diego. Yeah, but we had a really great pre-release. The album just came out today, but when we went to bed last night, I forgot, several dozen pre-orders already came up from the listening party. So yeah, it's been quite an exciting week getting that all finalized, and especially for Angie. But I did most of the hard work mastering. I compiled the master. I've pulled up old digital audio DAT tapes that were crumbling basically. I was able to finally get it together. I was a lot of work a few months ago. So it's been a wild week, and I was just so happy I was able to make a happy, healthy vegan video about Hassan Piker, aka Hassan Abi, this week too. So it's been quite a hectic week, an exciting week. This is what I'm talking about, guys. How you probably heard me talk about this a few live streams back. If you stuck around to the end, I was talking about the kind of work I do. I just kind of do what I want to do now. I'm not trying to chase big viral videos, or I don't feel like I have to make 2, 3, or 4 happy healthy vegan related videos a week to just try to stay up with all the current events, just for the sake of getting clicks and all that stuff. If there's a topic that interests me, I'll make it, because I enjoy doing that. I love using my critical thinking skills when it's applied towards a topic or a person that I believe needs to be called out. And as a musician since childhood, I enjoy making music. That's never going to stop. So yeah, it's been a wild week, but I can't complain. I've been living this week doing what I love, basically, making music, releasing music, having a listening party with music fans from all around the world. I saw people come on last night who were at our shows in Mexico City in 1995-ish, Chicago, the first Project Records Festival around then too. Friends I haven't seen in decades. So it was an incredible day. So I've been living sort of the dream on my small scale. But it's been a very fulfilling and fun week doing what I love, making vegan response videos, releasing music, making music, and getting a chance to talk about it all too. But today's Friday, and we are doing our regular Friday thing here. And in case you're new, in case you just tuned in, this is the day, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Whatever time it is for you right now, just mark this down in your calendars. This is when we do it. We talk about any and all things vegan, as you might be able to guess from the title of this live stream. And we also branch out to, if you are new to vegan or curious about vegan lifestyle, vegan diets, vegan ethics and questions, ask. I have over 12, 13 years of experience now, and combined with the rest of the people in the live chat, I wouldn't be surprised if we have over 1,000 years of combined vegan life experience amongst us all here, which is pretty awesome to think about. And if you are someone who absolutely despises vegans, you know, just the thought of people not eating animals and having dairy and eating eggs, if the thought of that just offends you to your core for some reason, just the fact that we exist on this planet Earth alongside you, not bugging you or anything, just doing our thing. If something about our or my existence totally offends you, or you believe we believe in some crazy, wacky stuff, come and tell me about it. I'll give you one opportunity to give me one argument or one clear example, and only one. If you want to do another example, throw another one at me. Don't do it tonight. Come back on a future Friday live stream. I'll give you one opportunity per night as an anti-vegan, because I don't want this live stream littered or overpopulated or overrun, just dealing with that kind of nonsense. But I will let you guys come and try to give me one quick argument, and we'll move on. So anyway, I want to thank all our regular viewers for being here. Thanks, everyone. Peter, I'm glad to see you back from Vegan Campout. I've been seeing some of your photos and stories on social media. I could have sworn I saw you when you were in Scotland. You found some Canadian food. Is that right? That's really weird. That shows you what kind of world we live in now. But that's cool. And Uncle and Peter, our two fearless moderators, are here. In fact, I saw Angie mention the word Maui. Yeah, Angie. So we have 3 moderators for right now. And yeah, our hearts to go out to everyone in the Hawaiian Islands, particularly to the people on Maui, and particularly to people who live or visit or have relatives or businesses on the west side and on Lahaina. I just can't believe how insanely rapid that fire just came down the volcano down the mountain and took over, just direct path towards that city, wiping out pretty much everything. And it's just a complete horrible tragedy on so many levels. And if you can donate to the relief efforts, and it's going to take a lot to just get people's lives back together, people's businesses back together. It's just crazy. I've never seen a whole city just wiped off the map ever before. I'm just kind of speechless. Yeah, and those fires can happen anywhere. So a lot of people think they can't happen in the tropics, but people think Hawaii, it's just like it rains a lot, and it does, but it doesn't rain the same everywhere. There's dry parts of the islands, there's wet sides, and on the dry sides, those areas are more susceptible. I know they've been under some drought conditions too, compared to what they're normally accustomed to as far as rainfall. There's been non-native grasses taken over in old pineapple and other farming areas that are no longer farming areas. So a bunch of bad things, or just not positive things. Hurricane force winds, super dry wind conditions like we have here in California. If you've ever heard of the Santa Ana winds here, the same thing happened there, basically. Drew, your coworker lives there, and they're using their hotel as a place for people to stay in it who need it. I was wondering how, so many people are without a home. They've been displaced. And we'll need people to go and clean up, rebuild, and there's not enough homes and places to stay, so it's going to be a problem. So if people can open their houses up, hotels can open up their rooms. Wow, Bill, you lived in Lahaina in 91. Oh my goodness. I've only been to Maui one time. We made that video 5 years ago for Angie's 50th birthday. Yeah, we never visited Lahaina. The only west side we got to was on the southern island, the southern part, Kihei. We never made it to Lahaina, unfortunately. So I'll never be able to see what was there, all the historical buildings, all the history, the Hawaiian history and culture and heritage that are not preserved anymore. Yeah, it's a huge regret that we didn't make it to Lahaina. I figured, okay, we'll make it back, and we can make it back, but it just won't be quite the same ever. So, it's been a really weird week with that happening. For us, it's been a really emotional week, I should say, just for us. I've been very emotional knowing what was going on out there, and then trying to also simultaneously focus on our art and release, which was already scheduled for August 11th. Angie scheduled that a month ago. So it's been a really emotional whirlwind roller coaster of a week. Did I use enough metaphors there? Yeah, Graven. Yeah, don't go to Hawaii. Yeah, don't travel, especially to Maui. Maui needs people to leave. Whatever finite supplies that are there need to go to the people who are in need, or everyone there is. I mean, I'm sure all the supply chains are all messed up right now. Markets are no more in Lahaina. Depending on like emergency distribution scenarios right now. So yeah, please, if you don't have to, please stay away from Maui for a while. Yeah, Naranjan, fire on an island makes it feel like you're stuck on a cage. Yeah, I saw so many cars that seemed to be burnt. They were trying to leave Lahaina, but there's just not enough time, traffic, and it's where can you go? The ocean, or try to get out really quickly, and that wasn't necessarily an option for so many people, unfortunately. Hey, Milo. Yeah, Milo's on the Big Island, right? Yeah. Lahaina used to be a sugar plantation area until, what's happened recently. Yeah, as I was saying, it was more sugar, pineapple farming, and those fields are not used for that anymore, and the land is been taken over by a lot of non-native and invasive kinds of grasses, which get dry once the rainy season kind of ends there, causing more fuel for all of that. Yeah, it's been horrific. I can't really think of anything quite like this. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff in my 50 odd years. Maybe September 11th, planes going into the Twin Towers in New York City is probably the closest thing I could think of something like that. Anyway, I'm not anyway like I'm trying to move on, but I'm just saying if we can, let's all try to give what we can. It's going to take a lot right now just to get people, helped. They need quick, immediate help because their lives have been turned upside down without warning. A lot of people just went to bed thinking, okay, we're going to have some crazy winds at night. Fire danger, but they said to just kind of shelter in place. That's what the authorities said, and turned out that wasn't the right call. So a lot of people's lives are just going to be really challenging for the immediate short term and for the long term. So any help you guys can send, if I can grab some links for you, maybe Angie could find some, but I'll try to dig some up. Maybe we'll have a moment where we'll take a little chill for a second. Allison, you live on an island, no fire so far. What? I didn't know you lived on an island, Allison. Where at? In the tropics, curiously, or just like near the mainland or something? Okay, so where was Vegan Potterhead? Yeah, I think I asked you. I think you came on my one of our I think the video launch of Hassan Abi or Hassan Piker, and I said, yeah, come to the Friday live stream where we'll have time to discuss your question here. So let's do it right now. Vancouver Island. Yeah, that's where Peter lives at too. Oh, Milo, you lived on Front Street, like the historic core of Lahaina, of Maui in 75. Wow, Milo. Awesome. Yeah, I so wish I went to Lahaina now. So regretful. It was so sad seeing, especially I wanted to see Mick Fleetwood's restaurant, seeing the sign burn down, or the restaurant burned down. The sign, actually, there was two. One still stayed up pretty intact. There was another one kind of half burnt that had fallen. But yeah, everything's gone on Front Street and all around there. All right, so Naranjan, yeah, when I was evacuated for fire in Maui, all the fire was in the grass, short grass fire, and moving fast. Yeah, that's what they said was going on. And Bill, you worked on Front Street as well at the Hard Rock Cafe. Man, I sure wish I've been to Lahaina. I know it's a beautiful area. Harbor, there's like, nice little longboard surf breaks right out there. So bummed. Yeah, but yeah, Sarah raises a good point. Be prepared, everyone. Includes us here in the cities too. Be prepared. I mean, I told you, it's like a year ago, a fire broke out in a garage, like 100 odd feet away from this room right here. Someone left their garage door open, and they were a hoarder. They hoarded a bunch of junk and crap. I noticed the garage door is usually closed, but at night I noticed it was open. Then later on, yeah, sure enough, caught on fire. Fortunately, the fire department came here quickly. But yeah, always be prepared. Nightmare. I heard the fire was virtually unoutrunable. It was moving so quickly, and people were so not prepared. I heard that sirens, which were installed in the area, did not siren or sound. People were just caught off guard. It happened in the dark, and just so moving so quickly, filled by hurricane force winds, and also just the way the winds traveled down the slopes of the volcano, compressing as the air hits the more flatter ground, compressing and becoming warmer and drier, adding even more of a combustible situation. Let's see. But anyway, let's get to Potterhead's question, because I promised you I would ask you, how do you best deal with people who won't go vegan, as in emotionally? Are you talking about your emotions or them? I assume you're talking about yourself. I mean, I think your answer's in there. As much as you can, try not to take it personally or get too emotional about someone else, even if they're really close to you, who won't listen, or even if they listen, says, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm still not going to do it. And even though it makes so much sense, it makes sense for not harming animals needlessly. It makes sense for not adding an unnecessary amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere compared to a plant-based diet. Makes so much sense on so many levels, and they still refuse to do it. It's just frustrating. And try not to take it emotionally, because it's not you. I mean, you're doing it. All you can do is do what you can for yourself. You know, I would love to get my mother to go on a vegan diet. I mean, I just get her on a vegan diet. I don't think she would even consider the ethical, moral aspects of it, because I think that's just beyond her comprehension, no matter how many times I have to talk to her about it. But yeah, as much as you can, don't take it personally. And it's not something to get too emotional about, because you can't do anything about making someone else come to realize that eating plants is the best decision for them and the rest of us. Well, did I see that, Sarah? Jeff Bezos is donating $100 million to Maui relief. Wow, he should kick in more, but that's a great freaking start for one of the richest men in the world, a multi-billionaire. I guess that'd be like me kicking in $100 or something like that, but awesome. We'll take it, Jeff Bezos. That'd be great. I should put out the billionaire challenge. All billionaires should match Jeff Bezos at least. To the Lahaina and just the Maui relief and emergency, and just helping people right now immediately with their immediate short-term needs, food, clothing, shelter, and their long-term needs, getting their lives and homes and everything put back together. Gretchen raises a good point for vegan Potterhead. Yeah, if you keep pushing them, you really run a high risk, depending on how you push them, how frequently and how forcefully you push them to go vegan. They might just turn off, run away, just shut off all communication, stop listening to you. So you gotta walk a fine line. If someone's not going to go vegan, despite all your best intentions, all your excellent information, they may not do anything about it. Yeah, Milo, you point out how living in Hawaii, even though it's paradise of sorts, right, bad things still can happen and do happen. I mean, it's sitting there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the furthest landmass from a mainland anywhere in the world, so you're really far away from stuff, is what I'm trying to say. You're at the complete mercy of what Mother Nature throws at you, or Father Nature, however you want to look at it. You lived half a mile from the lava flow in 2018. So yeah, you were probably in lava zone 1 or 2 probably, huh? You got hit directly by Hurricane Azelle in 2014. Well, you have a history. Yeah, you've been in the islands a long time. Yeah, back when you said you were living in Lahaina. So you've seen a lot. So yeah, I mean, it just shows. I mean, most of the time anywhere where most of us live, things are fine. But anyway, things will happen anywhere. My mom was all watching. She goes, I don't know if I'm going to move to Hawaii now. I said, Mom, we weren't going to move to Lahaina anyway. It's a very unaffordable place. I mean, Hawaii in general is very expensive. Lahaina is like at the top of that for the most part. I don't know if there's a more expensive city in all the islands than Lahaina. I just told her, Mom, bad things can happen anywhere, though. I mean, you can have an earthquake in California. We have wildfires here all the time. Bad things can happen anywhere. But yes, Groovy Lee said, yes, I pray for Hawaii too, and my thoughts are the same there with you. Michael, there's hasn't been, as far as I know, the origins of the fire. I described how it moved a little bit in the layman terms, but as far as how it started, from what I understand, I just watched a press release today. I was watching their governor of all people describe. He was there at ground zero. Anyway, I didn't hear him say this, but I saw meteorologists talk about who lives on Maui. No investigation has begun yet. That's going to come soon enough. But right now, the more immediate concerns are, the people and putting the fires out. It's speculated that it's probably from one of the many downed power lines, like the same exact cause that started off so many of the wildfires in northern and central California. So much so that PG&E here in California now, when the winds get high, they just shut down the power. People will not have power for so many hours until the winds get better because it's just too much of a risk. And that's probably a decent guess as to what happened there. I don't think Hawaii is used to having a plan like that to shut down the power when the winds are super high like that. But maybe stuff like that will have to start becoming more normal, not only here in California, but most places, because down power lines with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and very low humidity conditions that's the recipe for a wildfire. So, Sarah, this is your fire season right now. Yeah, now is the time on the West Coast, everywhere from California to Canada, where things are dry. Wildfire risk is at its highest now, typically in August. Bob Hill, no, it's sad. California has refused to invest to maintain their traditional power grid. California has an excellent power grid. The power grid has nothing to do with the fires. It has to do with winds, like hurricane force winds knocking power lines down. That can happen anywhere. As far as I understand, we have a decently robust power system here. The robustness of a power system doesn't mean anything about it being susceptible to fire or not, Bob. So nice try here. Just blame us for wildfires as opposed to maybe human caused climate change. But Bob, if you there's actually a really good episode of American Greed, if you have access to their on-demand videos from the past, that very in depth goes to describe exactly how PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, in Northern and Central California was pretty much criminally negligent in their role in as far as not maintaining their networks, not shutting them down, not taking care of them properly. It shows how their greediness and being stingy and tight with maintenance issues led directly to many of the wildfires that California has. So please don't blame it on the infrastructure. Blame it on nothing more than just good old-fashioned corporate greed. So Bob, please don't just come here and start pooping on our state just without any real just don't do it, please. All right, today's not the day. I'm not in the mood for it. Well, Peter, Happy Healthy Vegan is one of the suggestions to speak next year at Vegan Campout. You can vote on. Thanks for letting me know that, Peter. As of right now, still, we don't have a house sitter to take care of our house and our fur babies, so that still would be a problem. And I don't think he lives in California, Sarah. He just likes to come here and poo on. He's just repeating all the far right crap that you hear about California. There's this mass exodus from California. No, There's not. How can there simultaneously be a mass exodus from California and a housing crisis? So much so that our state government is stepping in to incentivize and legal, like require legally more housing to be developed because there's simply not enough places to house everyone. So if there is a housing exodus going on, Bob, as you alleged like a week or two ago, it's not happening quickly enough because we still have a huge housing shortage and some of the highest costs of living in the United States. Let's see. Hey, Mary Boberis. I think you asked it a couple times. Hey, Ryan, currently tuning in while making a gluten-free pasta with lentils. Sounds nice. Spinach, sun-dried tomatoes. Sounds like something we can have here. We'll leave out the roasted garlic, but yeah, we like olives and crispy bread. And for our dinner, we're not sure yet. We might make the Tuscan kale pilaf from the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook, or maybe I'll head over to Panda Express. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Milo, animal agriculture, number one source of greenhouse gases, methane and carbon dioxide, more than all of transportation exhaust combined. Yeah, Graham, exactly what I'm saying. The California fires, the big ones, the ones that you've heard in the news if you don't live in California, are usually started by private power companies or idiot hunters. And private power companies almost all the time have been solely just one of them, Pacific Gas and Electric, due to their corporate greed. Just being cheap and at the expense of all of us here in California. Yeah, Uncle, the gov, this big gov, isn't limiting new builds where we live. In fact, yeah, out here too. I mean, ADUs, what is it called? Accessory dwelling units. So it's basically what we know as like granny flats or whatever, in-law units, whatever. Yeah, cities which once restricted such additions to your home or garage or whatever are now encouraging them because there's simply not enough housing. So yeah, there's not this mass housing exodus. I mean, I kind of wish there were this mass housing exodus because it's still crowded as hell here. Congestion is crazy. There's too many people. Housing is crazy. So yeah, it would actually help our state if the far right were actually correct in this assertion that everyone's leaving California, because there's simply not. The data just doesn't support that. Yeah, people are leaving and people are coming, and most people are having to stay because they don't have too many choices. Yeah, Mila, I heard there were some fires on the Big Island too, kind of in the Waimea area, right? But I heard nothing really nothing bad, right? No structures were burned, no one lost lives or homes. Correct, Mila? I heard, the Big Island fared fairly well through this week's weather conditions. Thank heavens. Yeah, Uncle, the house just across the street from you just built an ADU, just like I was talking. Why would they even invest the serious cash outlay it costs to build an ADU if no one would rent it? Because no one wants to live in California, which is complete nonsense. Yeah, Bend, Oregon, Sarah. I remember reading or seeing somewhere recently that it's like the fastest growing town in the United States or something like that. So yeah, it sounds like Bend's always constantly under construction. Yeah, we got a super chat tip definition here, and $5 from Ray. We'll let our computer voice read it for you since it's over $5.
Non-vegan friend's question about the ethical part of vegan definition. If one has a chicken as a pet, in the same way I have cats as pets, would it be unethical to eat the naturally produced, unfertilized eggs?
It's funny how we get this question constantly here. I mean, how many people really are? I mean, I'm sure some people do this, but what is it, like 0.0001% of all egg consumption comes from like a personally owned chicken that you have in your backyard? But let's see, if one has a chicken as a pet in the same way they have cats, well, first of all, it can't be the same kind of thing, because you can't eat things that cats make, right? I mean, there's no way to consume an excretion of a cat or something like that. Would it be unethical to eat the naturally produced unfertilized eggs? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, if someone's going to do that, you know, that's going to be their thing. If there's no exploitation going on, I suppose it might fit under the definition. I mean, if you're going to do that, cool. I mean, whatever. I'm not going to do that. I have no desire to raise a chicken. And how would it be an unfertilized egg? I don't know. I'm not a farmer or anything like that. So chickens will just produce eggs. If you just have one female chicken, it produces an egg on its own. Let me see. Let me just look something up here really quick. Earthling Ed chickens. I thought he had a nice video on that addresses this in way more. Yeah, here's a good vid we can check out here. Why don't vegans eat backyard hens? Let's just play it for a sec, and I'll give you the link here.
We know that vegans don't consume eggs, but what about eggs from backyard chickens? Why would that be a problem? After all, these hens live a good life, right? These are questions vegans encounter all the time, and at first, they seem reasonable. After all, most of the problems associated with egg production don't exist with eggs from backyard hens. So what would the problem be? The first thing to consider is where the hens have come from. If they have been bought from a farmer or a breeder, then by buying hens, we are still contributing to the problems associated with commercial egg production, such as the male chicks being killed at birth, normally through being macerated or being gassed.
All right, so just for starters right there, like, how does one acquire this magical hen? You know, is it just find it out in the street, or anyway, there's more to it than that. So yeah, just watch Ed's video for a more thorough examination of this topic. I don't really give it too much airtime because it's such a weird thing. Like, how many people are really interested in being vegan and also want to buy a backyard hen and keep it, just one, and just keep it for themselves and eat their, that's just a weird thing. You're talking about like 1.1% of vegans or vegetarians or whatever. It's whatevs. You know, if someone wants to do that, watch Ed's video and just call yourself a vegetarian just to keep people from getting confused. But yeah, thanks for the question there, Ray. Hopefully you're cool with the answer. But I don't really have a big answer for you on that one. To me, that's just like splitting hairs to a point. Like, look, let's look what veganism is. You know, let's say. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So I would argue this to your friend, Ray, if you're not satisfied with my answer. If you're keeping a cat, you're keeping it purely out of love, correct? Right? You can't use a cat to eat something from it. But if you're raising a chicken with the point or the intent of eating its excretion, then I would consider that a form of exploitation, because you're taking something away from it that was its. You know, it didn't. The chicken didn't produce an egg for a human being to take it away from it and start eating it. It made it for chicken purposes. That's how it evolved biologically over the aeons. So it's a different relationship from the cat. A cat is a purely altruistic relationship. You're just helping it. It's a love thing. You're not expecting any thing from it other than a relationship of sorts. You're not exploiting it in the way that you're not taking your cat's eggs, there's no such thing, and eating them. You're not taking any product. Just like bees, you're taking honey from them. Bees make it for bee purposes. And likewise, chickens make eggs for chicken purposes, not for human purposes. So it can be looked at just in the most basic light that it's not like a cat relationship. You are trying to gain something from the possessing or owning of it, because you're owning it. You're not like a cat just having a fun fur baby loving relationship. You're actually owning something to get some product out of it. So anyway, let's move on from that. Okay, Ray, thanks for the answer. It was a bar room ethical debate. Appreciate your input.
Cool
I mean, it's funny how
this was a bar room ethical debate, and I appreciate your input.
It's funny how people who are not vegan try to find these extremely fringe, like, thought experiment case scenarios where that don't really exist. I'm saying, like, what does this represent? Like 0.0001% of chicken keeping, you know? It's such a bizarre out there thing. It's not, I'm saying it's not common at all. I've never seen anyone do that. So I'm just saying, it's funny how people try to find these weird examples. Like, what if you're trapped on a desert island and you know all these things that are just fringe weird things? I mean, they can happen, but your odds of winning the lotto are like way better. So it's funny how people like to resort to these almost impossible to happen things to try to find something. See, veganism debunked, right? I debunk veganism because I can keep backyard chicken and nothing's. It's just things like that, you know. Anyway, yeah, it's difficult to milk a cat, huh, Uncle? So, yeah, VLAM, it's okay to rescue animals and take care of them with no intention of getting anything in return. Yeah, I've seen people that have rescues, which rescue animals of all sorts, goats, pigs, turkeys, and chickens. But these rescue places they have no intention of getting anything. Like, they could say, well, we rescued these 20 chickens. We might as well do something with these eggs and sell them. Then you'd be exploiting the chickens. You'd be using their work and their biological products to earn cash from them. That's what exploitation is. You shouldn't be expecting to profit either through money or through putting it in your mouth for food as part of your your care for an animal. If you're expecting that, you don't have a proper relationship. You have an exploitative relationship. Gretchen, you get asked that too? I mean, ask your family. So who in the family here is going to raise a chicken in their backyard, an unfertilized chicken egg in their backyard, and give them out to me and other friends and family? Like, no one's going to do that. They just like to come up with these weird stories, right? So anyway, all right. Graven, what if it's the zombie apocalypse and all there is left is to eat chicken eggs? Would it be okay then? See, exactly. That's the kind of scenario. Perfect example there, Graven. Some bizarre, nearly impossible, 1 in a million, billion kind of things. You know what I'm saying? See, veganism debunked because the zombie apocalypse would leave only chickens and their eggs to eat and nothing else. You would be forced to eat chickens. Veganism debunked. It's that kind of nonsense. So anyway, yeah, good point, Carl. And your barroom friend there, Ray, ask your barroom friend, like chickens, their lifespan is longer than their egg producing years. Are they going to just keep feeding the chicken to its old age, take care of it, take it to the vet like they would a cat? Because they're saying it's going to be an exact same relationship as a cat. But I mean, if they're, if someone's true motive is to exploit and gain something, yeah, then it no longer becomes that profitable. Yeah, Peter, the roadkill vegan thing, really, how can you sustain yourself as a vegan on roadkill? And why would you want to? I mean, it's not a reliable thing unless you happen to live near some crazy stretch of highway where every day something gets ran over and you can bank on it or something like that. It's, again, some weird fringe thing, that's not part of how people typically operate. What's up, Milo? What about the Alex Jones conspiracy that vegans and ticks cause meat allergy? Well, I'm not sure if you're talking about a COVID vaccine, but meat allergies have existed before that. And ticks, yeah, that's not a conspiracy. That's actually a known thing. I made videos about how there's a certain tick, I forgot the name off the top of my head, which causes you to really not be able to process meat all that well. But yeah, to say vaccines cause that too is complete nonsense, because most every human walking around in the United States, at least, has had some form of vaccination at some point or points in their lives, and most people, unfortunately, are just perfectly fine digesting meat. So yeah. We have a troll, Sarah. Where's our troll at? Where is our troll, Sarah? Or is it one of our people I've been talking to already? Yeah, good point, Ali. Yeah, instead of like roadkill trying to like poke holes in veganism, yeah, roadkill is like just freaking the grossness of eating meat in perspective, right? Yeah, so yeah, BU, the anti-bullying channel. Yeah, you cry when you see roadkill. Like you don't say, oh, I wish I could eat that. That looks so freaking tasty. All those flies buzzing on that rabbit on the road there. That looks so appealing and appetizing. It says no one with their right mind, right? I mean, you got to be a really weird person to see that kind of scene and go, lunch, you know? I mean, if you're starving, cool, I understand. Not cool, but if you've been shipwrecked or something like that and you haven't eaten for a month, you come across that, okay, maybe then in that particular context, you might think, lunch. But anyone who's living in the civilized world where you have access to food like the rest of us do here, that's kind of weird. Yeah, Milo, roosters are noisy little suckers, and I bet you hear a lot of them over on the Big Island, right? I remember one house I was quite intrigued at when I thought I might be able to move there like this year. It had I didn't visit it in person. I was just looking at the pictures on the internet, and on the outside everywhere, there's like a few dozen chickens. I guess that neighborhood was taken over by chickens. It was an area north of Hilo, like Lapahui or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. All the chickens there. I go, how many of them are male chickens? Because that could be quite annoying. Yeah, Lone Star Tick. I think that's it. Hey, okay, it's Spectre7. Spectre7, I haven't seen your comments here yet. So do you have a question for me? It sounds like, according to Graham, don't know if it's troll, but Spectre7 is pure negativity and poop talk tonight. So do you have a question for me, Spectre7? Since I understand from more than one of our longtime viewers that you're saying stuff that might be considered trolly or stuff, so we don't tolerate that here. If we want to see the rules for our live stream, oops, I don't have the rules up right now. Here are the rules. Be civil, no personal attacks. Rule number 2, no trolling. So if you have a question for us, please ask it now. Otherwise, yeah, don't be all weird in the chat with like troll comments or just talking about poop the whole time. Be civil. If you can't do that, you might want to go to another live stream or something. But if you have a question for me, ask away, okay? Oh, what kind of zero shoes, Peter? Yeah, those are those flat bottom sandal type shoes, right? Yeah, I've heard about them. I almost got a pair a long time ago. So yeah, I just like shoes that don't really have like that are flat. They don't have the heel raising up and stuff like that. The shoes you saw in my vlog for my birthday, those Sinuks, yeah, they're like that. They're flat. They're not known as that, but they just happen to be. That's just their style. Well, Spectre7, just asking if you have trolls are as trolls do. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying if you are, don't do so, and then just show me you're not a troll. Ask a proper question. Okay, Spectre7, if you have a question for me, now's a great time. All right, Den MC702. So you promised you were going to come here tonight, I saw, and try to debunk veganism. So ask away. Is that it right there? Is that the hill you want to die on, or do you want to ask something else? DNM702. Remember, when you try to debunk veganism, as I invite you to do, you only get one opportunity. First of all, be civil. Don't be a dick. Number 2, don't spam or troll. But if you're here to debunk veganism, give me one claim. I don't have time to deal with every anti-vegan throwing different poops on the wall all day. Oh, that one didn't work. Let's try this line of reasoning. Ooh, that sucks too. Just give me your best argument as to why you think veganism is wrong or is debunked or whatever, and we'll look at it. We'll look at it with a fair light. We'll look at your reasoning and see if it makes any sense. All right, so if you have one argument, one example you want to give to me about why veganism is such a bad, horrible thing, go for it right now, but just one. If I see a second one, I'm going to block you. Yeah, barefoot type shoes, Peter. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, I'm not sure how much the zeros are, but the Sanuk shoes that you saw in my birthday vlog, they're like 50 odd bucks. It's, not that bad considering I buy a pair approximately one every 2 years. I mean, I could buy them more frequently than that, but I know you saw my old pair from that vlog. I wear them till there's holes until you see my big toes coming out of them. So I think that's not bad. 20 odd bucks a year for to wear shoes. So anyway, it breaks down to be fairly affordable. Yeah, I don't like that prison feeling in your feet. The only time I like that feeling is when I'm playing basketball. And then I wear a pretty minimal shoe. I play in low top basketball shoes. I don't like high tops, just keep your ankle kind of frozen in place. That's weakens your ankle. And one argument says that leads to more ankle injuries. And knock on wood, my ankle has been not getting injured since I switched to low tops. And I used to have a lot more. I had a level 2 ankle sprain a long time ago when I was wearing high tops. That's cool, Milo. No rooster noises in your neighborhood, but Fully Raw always has rooster noise. Where does she live at again, Milo? Which island and what city or town, like what part of which island does she live on? Let's see. I never tried glove shoes, Jesse. Yeah, like body glove shoes or something like that, or Anyway, yeah, she's in Hawaii. Yeah, but what part? Hawaii's big. There's 4 islands that people generally live on, and there's many different areas and stuff. Just kind of curious where Christina's at. Not that I'm gonna follow her stalk her. I'm just kind of curious where she's at. If she'd be a neighbor potentially. Big island, you think? Well, Milo would know because Milo's a big island. Gorilla shoes. Wow, you guys know a lot. Yeah, you have a lot of flip-flops. Yeah, my Sanuk shoes that I showed off in my birthday vlog are basically glorified flip-flops. Sanuk started off as a flip-flop company. And then they figured out, hey, we can use the base, the sole of the flip-flop and build like a light shoe, a minimal shoe on top of it. So they're glorified flip-flops. Yeah, but where she live, Milo? Like which island and like which area? She lived like in the Big Island, Hilo or Oahu, North Shore. Like, I'm just kind of curious where she lives at. Slippers. Hey, Fu. If I didn't say hi to you, Fu, good to see you, Fu. I saw you earlier saying you're kind of sleepy tonight, so hang out here as long as you can. Where's our Demon MC 702? Where is your argument against veganism? Your example. Are you carefully crafting it out? If so, I applaud you for thinking this through. It's great to be thoughtful rather than just fling some flimsy poop on the wall, as most people do. So Spectre, still, do you have 30 years spent as enough time person to say what they want about anything? Oh, what are you trying to say, Spectre? Do you have a point that you're trying to make? Because I'm missing it somehow. I'm somehow missing your point. So I can't follow what everyone's saying, so I apologize. So if I missed out, what is the main point you're trying to make, Spectre? Or are you not trying to make some kind of point? You're just saying random stuff. Just kind of curious, Spectre 7. Graham, I'm glad you're learning something from him because I'm still confused. Hey, Vegan Han. Hey, I just saw when I was cleaning off or deleting comments from last week on our wall. I saw that discussion we had with you last week about the definition of veganism. So thanks for returning. Good to see you again. So, it's funny how people that came here specifically to try to debunk veganism kind of popped in and said a quick hello and haven't come back to say their thing. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what the intentions are. Wow, it's never been this hot before, Graven. Is this like the hottest summer you've ever had in Florida? Because I know Florida summers are known for being very hot and humid. So if this is even worse than that, wow. Allison, it's fun when they come, but not to troll. Graham, no, I've been just the Hassan thing. I mean, I just mentioned I made a video about Hassan Abi / Hassan Piker's this really lame, nonsensical take on veganism. It's really disappointing to see him like just completely throw critical thinking out the window and rely on basic fallacies and even sort of a conspiracy theory as to why I couldn't go vegan. But I didn't talk anything more about Hassan. It just shows I'll talk about anyone. I don't care if left, right, center, as far as politics goes. Some people think, oh, Ryan's just some kind of hardcore lefty. No, just turns out more often than not, people on the right are saying some more the wacky, zany things about veganism. But no, people on the left are equally able to say some pretty nonsensical things too. So yeah, I'm open. I don't care what your political background is. If you're going to say something dumb about veganism, I'll respond more likely than not. Aaron Mack, hello. I learned about you a few years back and I'm glad I'm still going strong. Still doing it here. Still being a vegan activist. And yeah, doing my thing here. Doing my critical thinking response videos. And live streams I've really grown to love lately too. Oh, okay, Graven. You've been getting daily heat advisories out there in Florida. Wow. Okay, Jalen. Hey, Jalen, you have news. Silk brand vegan company, the ones who make like silk milks and stuff like that, is trying to help natural pollinators. So we don't need commercial bees anymore. They are planting flowers to lead bugs to crops by choice. Yeah, bees aren't the only pollinator. They're just really a very efficient pollinator. But like butterflies, other insects can pollinate as well. So that's great. That's great news. Yeah, we need some more improvements in that area of farming technology. So Milo is not sure where Christina lives in Hawaii, but I don't recognize her senior, so I don't think it's the Big Island. Yeah, I didn't think she'd be a Big Island person. Just knowing the little bit about her and what I think she's kind of about, she didn't have a Big Island vibe, but you know, you never know. I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, she's probably on Oahu, probably, huh? Nothing wrong with that, you know? Nothing bad about living on Oahu. I'd live on the windward side of Oahu. I'd consider it for sure if it all worked out. Anyway, hey Jesse, you missed last week's live, but watch it later. You missed a doozy. Yeah, last week was pretty lively, huh? I remember now. I kind of forgot how lively it got last week. Spectre7, you think this is a great show, but a lot of people talk a lot of nonsense sometimes in the chat. Yeah, that would typically be the people that come here to hate. People who are longtime regular viewers of our channel here. I've created a really great, happy, friendly community who appreciates critical thinking skills when applied to veganism and probably other aspects of their lives as well. Let's see, Vegan Han, I'm a true vegan, of course. A stayer, not a quitter. Thanks for the discussion on last week's live stream. Yes, I still agree with you that using the modern definition of the vegan society is the best to use when arguing against carnists, non-vegans, anti-vegans, that sort of people. It's as I showed you last week in real time, how powerful that definition is. I never said it's the best definition in the world for veganism or anything like that. Every definition will have trade-offs. There'll be some pluses and some minuses. And I think for the modern vegan society definition of veganism, the pluses far outweigh the negatives when it comes to my particular application of how I use that definition when responding typically to people who are trying to debunk veganism. They'll try to like define it in such a way that that's not what veganism is. So anyway, contact Christina. I don't even know how to contact Fully Raw Christina or anything like that. I don't like come across her in my life or anything like that, but maybe I'll bump into her in Hawaii someday, who knows. Or maybe we'll be in LA together at the same time. Good question, Bob Hill. Is Fully Raw Christina still Fully Raw Christina? Do you guys know, Milo or anyone? Is Fully Raw Christina still Fully Raw? I would imagine she is. I mean, she seemed like the kind of person who was doing it in such a way that it was working for her. I tell you, it doesn't. Not everyone fails as a raw vegan, of course. A lot of people have issues, but not everyone. So it's if she was able to be raw for like the 6-7 years she was before I found about her, I don't see why she couldn't be still raw for the 6-7 years since I first heard of her. Hey, Johnny Bravo. Yeah, Milo, things are getting real. I think more people are starting to wake up this year. Like, oh, yeah, maybe shit's getting real as far as human-caused climate change, maybe. What can I do? Well, according to Hassan Piker, nothing. You got to wait for governments. Don't go vegan or eat a vegan diet to help with climate change, because you're only one single person amongst 8 billion, so you can't possibly have any effect as one single human amongst 8 billion. Horrible logic. But anyway, let's see, Patricia, you follow Christina? She's still raw, as I assumed. Yeah, about 17 years, I think. Now, I said, yeah. If someone who's been raw like 7 years, they probably know what they're doing. Like I said, I think she was raw about 6-7 years when I first heard of her. So if you're raw that long and weren't getting SIBO and having your hair fall out and all that stuff that all these other people say happen, then you're probably able to make it work for you. Yeah, Vegan Han, cool. I'm glad we came up with a mutual opinion there and spread it to others. So I know there's a faction of vegans. I'm not sure if you were influenced by them or not, or was it your own thinking? But yeah, there's a certain faction of vegans. I think the Vegan Society's definition of veganism is so horrible and needs to be eradicated. I'm not sure what kinds of people that they're talking to and responding to, but I'm not sure how their definitions stack up compared to the Vegan Society's definitions as far as being such an extremely powerful tool as far as responding to anti-vegan nonsense. I mean, I don't know what to give me an example, but I how they would respond with a different definition, because there's so many. So I don't want to pull one out of my butt and make some kind of straw man example. Sarah, so what do you think about this guy dissing on Oregon, huh? A lot of hate and people bashing on veganism, a lot of drugs and hate there. I mean, there's a lot of hate and drugs a lot of places, Spectre. I don't think Oregon ranks up any in the a upper quadrant of hate and drugs or something like that. But anyway, ZZ Captain, hey Ryan, EV1, thanks for letting you tune in. Hey, you're free to tune in. I didn't hit accept or anything. I want to thank you for coming. Yeah, but there's no room for hate here in this live stream, as I've shown many times in my rules here. Rule number 1 basically says, don't be some hateful, bigoted a-hole. If you are, you need to go away. Like, really, go away. Leave my live stream and just go away. Just drop out of society, because no one wants you. Is that too mean? I don't think so. Yeah, Graham, yeah, where is this paradise that Spectre 7 lives in? This country or this place that's low or free of hate and everyone gets along and helps each other? I'm just kind of curious. Okay, Aaron, I see a question there about Dr. Greger. He seems a little crazy or maybe passionate about veganism. Actually, great question there. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's passionate, but I don't think he's a vegan. He recommends plant-based diets, but I've never heard him personally advocate for animals. I've never heard him make a speech about animal cruelty and exploitation. So I'm not sure if he's vegan. He definitely promotes vegan diets, plant-based diets, 100%. But yeah, I'm not sure if he's really vegan. I hate it when people say, well, yeah, try to point him out as some kind of bad vegan or something like that. First of all, I don't think he's bad. Secondly, I don't even think he's vegan. So he's kind of an interesting, pivotal figure of sorts. Okay, Vegan Han, you're kind of influenced by lifting vegan logic. I know, yeah, he's one of those people that's really down on the Vegan Society's definition. And I respect his reasons. It's totally cool. I don't think anyone has the one and only right definition of veganism. I don't think I do. I don't think he does. And yeah, I agree. Animals have rights. 100%. I agree with that. I think, I'm not sure though if the discussion of animal rights has to 100% for sure be in the definition of veganism. It's a natural extension of what veganism's definition is in my mind, but I'm not sure if that means that part has to be in the definition. It could be. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when I get into when I debunk all these anti-vegans on my channel, as you've seen in real time or in my response videos, we really don't have to get into a discussion of animal rights because most of these people don't even give a crap about animal rights. I'm not talking about LVL, I'm talking about the anti-vegans. So it's kind of it's like you have this nicely this sharp sword and you try to jab it in Piers Morgan or Joe Rogan and it doesn't go in because they don't believe animals have rights. So you can't even have a discussion with people like that. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of the discussion's kind of ends almost because you can't even agree upon that basic principle. But anyway, it's all good. Everyone can, is free to argue and use what they find to be the most effective tool for them as a vegan activist. And if it's working out great for him, I think he's awesome. I like LV. I think he's a great vegan activist and influencer. I don't like to say influencer. That's such a negative. I hate when people call me an influencer. Great vegan activist. I see a discussion here between megadosing and microdosing. Depends what you want to do, huh? What your goal is, to have a chill night or to see the winged feathered serpent of Quetzalcoatl. Hey, Aaron, thank you. Love your channel and great content. Oh, I'll let the robo voice read it.
Love you channel, great content.
Thank you so much. Vegan mom, I don't know. It's like that's who does this? What sanctuaries give eggs out? Is that something really sustainable? It's something that would only apply to 0.0001% of vegans or the population. So it's such a fringe thing. I don't know. I just go, why the hell would you even want to eat eggs if you're vegan? You know that typically they come from exploitation, and they're as far as a health aspect, they're super high in cholesterol. So I'm not sure what the point is. Why? Here's my whole thing. Why would anyone even want to eat eggs anyway? Say there were a magical way to obtain them ethically from a sanctuary or something like that. Why would you want to eat them? You don't need to eat eggs. They don't have some essential nutrient without which we'd all wither away and die, and or else I'd be dead by now. I haven't had any eggs in over 13 years. So I'm saying, what's the point? Why not just be a regular vegan and not... Here's the thing. If you're eating eggs as a vegan, say there was some magical way a vegan could obtain ethical backyard eggs or ethical sanctuary eggs. The non-vegans aren't going to see that. The carnists and all that, they're just going to say, oh, that vegan's eating eggs. So basically you're showing the carnists and the world in general that, hell, eating eggs is cool. But they might not fully understand the context. So you found this weird magical way that only 0.01% of the population can obtain eggs in this magical cruelty-free way or whatever. They're not going to understand that distinction. Oh, eggs are cool. My friend Bobby, he's a vegan. He eats eggs because, so I'm going to eat them too. So I'm saying you're sending a message. You're being complicit in promoting eggs, whether you know it or not. Despite them perhaps maybe coming from some magical sanctuary or something like that. Yeah, Carbon, no food is higher in cholesterol than eggs. There's no reason to eat them. Why? Like I said, what nutrient are you missing from a egg-free diet that once you eat an egg, all of a sudden, I'm healthy once again. Hell yeah, I can function. No, it doesn't work that way. So anyway, just curious. Does he really think that? AJ, yeah, does he really think that, Vegan Han, that eating sanctuary eggs is okay? I've not heard him say that. I don't watch all his content, obviously. I'm just curious if that is a belief of his, because that's news to me. Yeah, leave the eggs for other animals, Carl. If people say they're just going to go to waste, no. If there's eggs being laid out in nature, some animal's going to grab them. Doesn't have to be a human. Yeah, Quetzalcoatl, Fu Man Poo. If you're tripping hard, go hardcore, go all in. see Quetzalcoatl in the back of your mind's eye. You know, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I have to see that Joey Carbstrong video about converting vegetarians. I saw the thumbnail. I didn't get a chance to click it yet, but I'll check it out. Is it entertaining? Usually those conversations that Joey has, they're pretty fun to watch. Kirk asks, how is eating meat buying from the supermarket as opposed to killing animals by meat producers' cruelty? Does anyone understand what he's saying there? I mean, if you buy meat from the supermarket, you're buying it from meat producers? You want to rephrase that, Kirk? Or maybe I'm just too dumb and tired right now from my really busy and emotional week, and I can't understand what you're saying. But I'd like to answer his question if I understood it. So you want to rephrase that? Or like I said, any one of our other vegan viewers here grasp what Kirk is saying, because I'm too stupid right now, and let me know what the question is, because I don't grasp it. I'm not trying to avoid it, I just don't understand it. Let's see, Vegan Moyman talking about LVL. He's fine with vegans doing non-vegan things such as eating eggs from a sanctuary, as long as there are no rights violations. A lot of vegans agree with him. I don't. Yeah, see, these are these weird gray area things. Again, how many people are really obtaining eggs in this really unexploitative way? It's such a weird thing, you know what I'm saying? But I still say it's kind of like this, guys. It's like, okay, there might not be any rights violations if you were somehow to get these magical eggs from a sanctuary that rescued chickens or something like that. But then the act of you going on social media or just letting the world know, hey, I eat eggs, it's totally cool. It's like me going into my closet, which 10 years ago, and I found these old Birkenstock sandals from 1991 or something that I bought in college. And I didn't wear them that much. They look pretty brand new. And as a vegan, I go, I could wear these. I mean, the cruelty has already happened. It happened before, like, probably most of you guys, especially LVL and others, were even born, right? So I'm just saying, it's gone. It's like in the past. Nothing can be done about that. It was decades ago. No cruelty, really, for when you get down to it. I could wear these leather sandals that I bought in 1991, wear them in 2015, and everything would be cool. But then I would be silently saying to the world when I walked out in the street and went places, even vegan festivals, who knows, when I went out into the world with my 1991 leather shoes on, and no one knows they're from 1991, they would be seeing them and go, oh, it's cool to wear leather shoes. I'd be silently showing the world that, yeah, I'm upvoting this. Yes, thumbs up to leather shoes, whether that was my intention or not. So I'm saying you're just kind of silently, not intentionally promoting it, saying this is acceptable behavior. These are acceptable things to do. And I said it's not your intention to do that, but that's how others perceive what you're doing. So that's one negative aspect of doing some of these things like that where you might not see a perceived rights violation. It's not all positive. There are some unintentional negatives. No, Kirk, we're not going to get into graduate level moral theory here. Consequentialism, deontology. Just ask your question in simple language. Pretend we're all dumb here. Pretend none of us have studied philosophy. Pretend none of us have degrees in philosophy. Pretend none of us have studied philosophy on the graduate level. Pretend some of us here are teenagers. Just ask your question very simply. Just ask, what are you trying to say about veganism here, okay? Just be really clear in a very non-jargony way. Can you do that? Or are you able to get your thought out here without having to talk about deontology and Immanuel Kant and stuff like that, okay? Just ask your question. Most people here have never heard of Immanuel Kant and deontology. Just ask your question, please. Let's see, Gretchen asks, okay, but Ryan, then would you be against vegan leather too? That's a good question, huh? It's like, yeah, that advertisement thing. I know what you're saying there. That's a more tricky question because, yeah, we're talking about the distinction between people's perceptions of what you're doing and the objective truth, the reality of what you're doing, right? And the intentions of what you're doing. And I could see on the people's perspectives of what you're doing, they could perceive the vegan leathers as an advertisement for vegan stuff. The thing is this, is if they were to ever ask you, hey, anything, you say, oh no, this is, like the shoes. Oh, if they asked me about my Birkenstocks from 91, I'd say, yeah, those are real leather shoes from 91. Yeah. But if they asked about a vegan leather thing, it's like, oh, this is like the leather you get in a Tesla or a Toyota or whatever, so that's tough to say. Cause like there's vegan leather in these cars. I don't think anyone thinks they're vegan. I mean, that they're real leather, right, from a cow, right? Everyone knows if you buy a Tesla or a Toyota, I think everyone knows that those are fake leathers and stuff. So I'm not sure if Toyota all the way up their line. I know when I got my Prius Prime, yeah, one of the options was it wasn't even called fake leather, but that's what it is. It's a smooth, non-clothy kind of veganish leather kind of texture. So that's a really good question, Gretchen. I'm not sure to answer that one exactly. Heidi, you falling asleep? Methamphetamine is your answer. No, just kidding. That's never the answer. David's vegan. It's definitely a real gray area, and I feel like you could explain why you're wearing used leather only. Well, I tell you, I don't wear any leather of any kind. The only kind of leather I'll occasionally wear is a vegan leather on a shoe that I wear only when I wear suits. And I hardly ever wear suits. And often when I wear suits, I still wear my Sanuk shoes, my those sandals that you see me wearing. Once in a while, I'll put on these like vegan leather shoes. So that's not something I do. Well, from what you guys are saying here, Vegan Hot, it sounds like LVL's rights violation based definition of veganism seems to have its most power. Remember I said some definitions have their pluses and minuses, and it sounds like the power of his definition, the one he prefers to use, and anyone's rights-based definition, from what you guys are showing here, it seems like a nice consequence of that. Its power is in describing exactly what vegans can or can't do. Like, can you eat an egg from a sanctuary? Can you wear a feather? It's stuff like that. It sounds like its power lies in determining these things. Can a vegan do this? Can a vegan not do that? From what I understand here, I'm not saying I've seen him pontificate on this for any period of time, but it sounds like that's one of its natural things it's good at doing, that definition. My way of using the Vegan Society's definition can do that, obviously, tell you what vegans can or can't do. That's how I can tell you how vegans shouldn't be eating honey. Yeah, I derived my belief from that specifically from the Vegan Society's modern definition. But more powerfully, it says what veganism is and isn't. So I can respond to idiots like Joe Rogan and Piers Morgan and anyone else that brings up all this nonsense. The TikTok beef lady, for example, about what veganism is. Anyway, yeah. Okay, that's a good point, Dave's vegan. Yeah, I don't draw a hard and fast line, meaning if some other vegan were to decide for themselves that they're cool with wearing leather that was created in 1991, I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to make a video if I heard that some vegan that we all know was wearing some shoes from 91 that were made from some animal products. Everyone's going to have to draw the line on their own. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you can use that as an opportunity to jumpstart a discussion for sure. Dave's vegan. I'm just saying that's how I personally drew the line in my mind. Wow, a double workout today, Sarah. You are an animal. Uncle, you can eat seashells if you want, I guess. Oh, that's cool to know. The Supreme Master. What's her name again? Ching Hai. sells labels you can stick onto your fake fur and vegan leather, advertising they are fake. There's a great solution to that problem. Are you watching, Gretchen Karma? There's your solution there. If you have some fake leather or whatever, get one of these stickers from Supreme Master. Can you just go get them at any of the Loving Hut restaurants? Do they have, or do you have to get them online somehow? But that sounds like a great solution. I would get some. I would put them on my one pair of vegan leather shoes. I would put that. This is whatever the sticker says that this is vegan. Great. It gets the discussion going. I love that solution. Thanks for sharing that, Milo. I was wondering how would get around that. You got to go, Fu Man. Get some rest. Hopefully you're not going to see Quetzalcoatl tonight, unless you want to see Quetzalcoatl tonight. Yeah, Allison. See, there's many reasons why you might want to get some, like, you know, vegan leather or something like that. Yeah, maybe put one of these stickers on it. Yeah, let's see if Milo knows if you can get those from Loving Hut. Gretchen, you like that solution too? Awesome. Yeah, next time I'll pop by a Loving Hut and see if they have them. If Milo says they have them at Loving Huts. Because there is a Loving Hut not too far from here. It's like on our way to like Disneyland area. So yeah, we're out in that direction from time to time. No, Bill, I can't say I've put hummus on hot sauce and rice. Let's see. Uncle, people used to throw red paint on celebrities wearing furs. Would you advocate for that? I could see the intention, the good intention, but there's some bad intention in that as well. Yeah, the good intention is to draw attention to the animal exploitation and murdering that happens to obtain those furs. However, I have problems with a kind of almost violent attack on a person. Yeah, it's not an attack like punch him in the face, but you know, it is a pretty extreme thing to do to a person. You know, it's not just like saying something to them. So I have kind of problems with, you know, invading their personal safety space. So I probably wouldn't do that. Like I said, I definitely wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's just me. You know, I'm not trying to proclaim a law for all vegan activists to follow. Just tell you where I as a Buddhist and an activist, I have problems with attacking a person like that. Despite them having something on them that I disagree with and it's most immoral to have on them. Vegan Han, you're in Norway? Well, here's a good question, Vin Moyman. If leather was made from human skin, would it change how you feel about secondhand leather? A good point there. Something to think about, huh? God, are all the Loving Huts closed down? I thought the one out here was still open. Okay, is that what some of the stickers say, Milo? Hey, Jesse. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I said. I think you're just going to have to think that through on your own and do what you feel most comfortable with. I don't know if there's a hard and fast line that all definitions of veganism would agree with as far as what you ought to do or not do. So yeah, just think it through. You know, see what you feel most comfortable doing with. But yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable now as a known vegan activist of like all these years now to be walking around with my old leather shoes on, you know. I would feel really weird. Even though I bought them in 1991 or something like that. Hey, AJ, have I said hi to you tonight, AJ? I can't remember if I have. And how long have you been here? And let me know, have I said hi to you tonight, and how long have you been here? Because maybe VD is right about my brain. Bob Hill, no, people shouldn't be free to have their own definition of vegan, because if that were the case, then you have idiots like Piers Morgan and TikTok Beef Lady and Joe Rogan and others making up these crazy, wacky, zany definitions of veganism that are so restrictive and strict that no human on this planet could ever be vegan. So no, people aren't free to make up their own definition. People should be able to know what the accepted definitions of veganism are, and knowing those non-wacky, zany definitions, be able to come to their own understanding of what they should do with their old secondhand animal products from ages ago. Okay, I did say hi and you've been here for 20 minutes. Thank you, AJ, for helping me out with that. I was starting to question my my sanity a little tiny bit there. No, Peter, I haven't seen that guy tonight. I don't know what happened to him. I'll take it. I'll take that as a win and not have to deal with that person tonight. Unless he came back and he learned to speak more articulately or something like that, but he's pretty easy to spot. Kirk, I thought I asked you to come back and address me. Now I see you picking on Carl. So let me look at Kirk. Did you respond to me, Kirk? And if you did, okay. Okay, I see your answer to me, Kirk. So let me get it up here for all to see. I didn't see it. So let me put it up on the wall for everyone to see here. Let's get rid of the rules. Hopefully Kirk knows the rules now. And let's put it up here. Kirk asks, how does buying meat from a supermarket support cruelty? Well, let's keep going on. You just asked a question. There's more. To answer this, one needs an ethical framework. So my straightforward question is, what ethical system do I follow? Well, let me ask you this, Kirk. Why does one need to understand or be able to articulate explicitly know which kind of ethical system they're operating? Let me articulate on that a second more here. Let's say, for instance, I'm a simple human. I have no college education or anything like that. Not saying that makes one an advanced human or something like that, but I'm just saying, just a basic person. And let's just say I'm against murdering people. I'm against raping people, like most of us are. I would say 99.9% of us, whether we're Buddhist, atheist, satanic, vegan, whatever, right wing, left wing, Christian, whatever we are, pagan, we're probably against murdering our fellow humans and raping our fellow humans. You don't need an ethical system, because there's all these 99% of people out there follow various kinds of beliefs or non-beliefs. I don't understand why veganism has to have an ethical system. So let's talk about murder or raping my neighbors or something like that. Do I need to follow an ethical system? No, I just know it's wrong. It's just wrong to go and violate a person. I don't want to be violated. What gives me the right to exploit and harm and cause injury to another person? I don't need to be a Christian or a Satanist or a pagan or an Egyptian Norse god follower or a deontologist or anything. Why do we need an ethical system to say it's wrong to kill my next door neighbors? Just kind of curious why we have to get in these deep, muddy waters of PhD level ethical systems. We don't need, I'm saying I knew when I was a young person I shouldn't go and kill my neighbors. I shouldn't rape the girls in high school or something like that. Why do we have to get into ethical systems for? Likewise, I don't need an ethical system to know it's wrong to kill animals. Why would I? Here, put it like this to you, Kirk. I don't need animals to die in order for me to live. Why would I intentionally want or choose animals to be killed for me on a daily basis needlessly? And needlessly is the key word here, because I can eat plants, and plants don't have brains and central nervous systems or even souls, if you believe in that sort of thing. They are non-sentient living beings that don't feel pain and suffering and emotions in the way more complicated mammals do. So yeah, I'm gonna eat plants. Plants, all nutrients I need to eat, to stay alive and healthy. So I don't need to understand Immanuel Kant or Schopenhauer or anything like that to understand that, or any kind of philosophy or ethical system to understand that killing animals is wrong when I could just eat some potatoes and fruit. So what do you think about that? So what ethical system am I following? Just tell me. Hey, say I'm just a simple 13-year-old boy like Jordan. He's not on tonight. I think he's 14 now. He doesn't understand philosophy like I do or anything. He knows it's wrong to not murder humans. He knows it's wrong to not he knows it's wrong to go out and kill an animal needlessly. What ethical system is that? It's just being a decent human being. You don't need to have Immanuel Kant to tell you deontology is some kind of ethical system to follow or something like that. Consumers don't kill animals, producers do. So if I hire someone to be my hitman to kill my next door neighbor, yeah, the hitman is killing my next door neighbor, right? But am I absolved from all blame on that, Kirk? Hell no. The hitman wouldn't be killing someone for me if I didn't pay him or her to kill people for me. Same with meat producers. Do you think meat producers kill animals just out of the sheer joy of their hearts? They wake up every morning I just love killing animals. I don't need to receive any payment for this. I just go out and kill animals on assembly line because it is fun as hell and I get off on it and that joy sustains me financially. No, they do it as a job. It's just like a hitman. So no, you can't absolve guilt because you pay someone indirectly to kill animals for you. So sorry, no, it doesn't work like that. Consumers don't kill animals, producers, yeah, consumers pay meat producers to kill the animals for them. The producers would not kill the animals if there were not some kind of financial reward, Kirk. I mean, how do you understand that, right? Are you going to argue meat producers would just kill animals for the pure joy of it? That's cool, Milo. A Kuan Yin meditation. That's the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. I've done some rituals and ceremonies for Avalokiteshvara in my Buddhist days. How's that an ethical system? If I pay a hitman to kill someone for me, you're saying there's ethical systems in which I would have no blame whatsoever? I mean, tell that to the judge. Seriously, tell the judge, hey, that means you're a consequentialist. No, I'm not a consequentialist, by the way, as a matter of fact. That's not my ethical belief system. I actually think consequentialism leads to some pretty absurd consequences, not to be redundant with the word there. But no, I mean, just tell it to the judge. Hey, judge, yeah, you can't convict me for hiring a hitman to kill that guy that he killed because, hey, I'm a consequentialist, so I have no guilt in the matter. Try that. That doesn't it's not how it works. If you pay someone to kill someone for you, you're as much to blame, or you are to blame as much as the hitman is. Both of you guys can go to jail. I would say I'm neither, Peter. I lean more towards deontology than consequentialism, but I kind of think ethics and moral philosophy kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I always thought that was a hot mess, and in my training and as a grad and undergrad, I stayed away from those courses as much as possible. I believe philosophy has much more stronger areas such as metaphysics, ontology, philosophy of mind. I think the moral and ethical philosophy is a bit of a hot mess. Consumers don't have the intention to kill animals. Well, here's the thing. When you buy a piece of meat, you know that it is from an animal that was once living and is now dead. You know that. It's an absolute fact. How can you not understand that when you go and give money for a piece of meat, what that meat is? It's a dead animal. Yes, they know that. They might not be explicitly thinking that, Kirk, but they know that it's just a what's that called? Prima facie. It's just an obvious tautology. It's just true. If you're eating an animal, it was once living, it is now dead. Again, people try to not think about that because it's such a inconvenient thought to think about the killing that you are paying for. But people aren't stupid. People know when they hand their money over to a meat producer, they're paying someone to produce that meat, and by definition, that meat 100% must come from a once living animal and transformed it into a dead animal. So don't try to dance around this issue that consumers don't intend. Yeah, they intend to buy the meat. They might be thinking about all the consequences, but they know for 100% fact that it came from a once living animal. Don't tell me otherwise, Kirk, that consumers have no idea that their meat purchases necessitate animals to be killed from them. Are you arguing that? Is this the hill you want to die on here, Kirk? That consumers, when they purchase meat, they have no idea that that purchase 100% requires the killing of an animal. No, you're flinging poop on the walls. You just threw another question up here, Kurt. Look at my rules really closely here. Don't answer a question with a question. You answer my question. You're the one that brought this up. You're the one that came to my live stream. I didn't come to yours. So let's look at it. When trying to debunk veganism, I will discuss only one of your claims or questions at a time. Don't bring up new ones. Don't litter my wall with your poop. I asked you. You're the one that brought this crap up. And this is why I make the poop wall, so you can't just keep shifting from one idea to the next. One claim and one claim only. So here, let's look at it one more time. Oops. Yikes. I'm having so much trouble here. Here we go. How does buying meat from a supermarket support cruelty? Oh yeah, that was your previous comment. Your comment, I already went past. I'll get it up here. I'm going to make a point to get your words up here so you can't wiggle out of it, Kirk. I'm going to replace what you said here with your new comment, because this is the one I think is the most absurd thing you've said of them all here. So hang on one second.
Cruelty free.
Oops, wrong one.
Literally.
Cruelty free.
Where is it? Oh yeah, here it is.
I'm going to leave your words on this board for all my classes to enjoy, giving you full credit, of course.
I'm going to give you full credit for this, Kurt. Let's look at it one more time. So you mean, you answer my question, Kurt. Consumers don't have the intention to kill animals. Only producers do. No, that's not. So you really tell me when a person buys a piece of dead animal, they have no idea that their purchase required a meat producer to kill a living animal. Is that what you're trying to say? Because that seems completely absurd. That consumers have no idea. Their intent is not to kill the animal, but they know that an animal has to be killed. Who cares what the intent is? The intent to satisfy their intention, Kirk, to satisfy the intent of acquiring a piece of meat, to satisfy that intention necessitates 100% of the time that an animal's killed, unless they're buying lab-grown meat. So how are you going to wiggle out of this, Kurt? I love to see the mental gymnastics you're going to have to employ to defend this absurd proposition that consumers have no idea their intention is just to acquire a piece of meat without an animal being killed. How does that work? How do you intend to buy a piece of meat without an animal being killed for you? I'd love to hear this. I would love to hear this, Kirk, so I'm going to wait for you. Oh, you're throwing more questions at me here, Kurt. I'm gonna put your words here to show everyone the absurdity of what you're saying. All right, here we go.
I'm going to leave your words on this board for all my classes to enjoy.
All right, so I'm going to add
full credit, of course.
Add to what you're saying here. How can a consumer be responsible for an animal killed prior to purchase? Prior to purchase, well, it's the same thing. If I, okay, it's like buying it on credit. Like I could tell the hitman, hey, go kill Bob over there. And as soon as you kill Bob, I'll give you $500. I don't see how that makes a difference if I pay the hitman before he kills Bob or after he kills Bob. I'm not talking about Bob Hill. I just made up Bob. I just pulled that name out of my butt right there. But what does the difference make if the money is paid before or after the killing? That seems 100% irrelevant. The bottom line is, Kurt, the timing of the payment is absolutely irrelevant. The most essential feature that you are conveniently dismissing and dancing all around and not addressing, and I want you to address it, is the intention of acquiring the meat necessitates an animal to be killed. Who cares if they paid for the meat up front, like before the animal got killed, or they paid for it at the supermarket? The thing is, the money gets transferred from the supermarket to the food distributor to the food producer. They get paid. People need to get paid for their services on the day of the service. That's not how economies work. That's not how jobs work. That's not how account receivables work. It's the flow of money that's constantly moving around. So the timing of the payments is 100% irrelevant. What is most irrelevant and what is most relevant, you keep dismissing, is that people are responsible for the animals that they pay with their money to other businesses to kill the animals for them. How are people not responsible? Please tell me. You're not answering the question. You're just throwing more questions at me. Oh, the payment happens after the animal's killed. Who cares? I could pay a hitman after or before killing Bob. It doesn't make a difference. I still paid a guy to kill Bob. Jesse, I've been vegan since October of 2010. So Kurt. Okay, Kurt, you're flinging poop on the walls again here. You're violating my rules. Just answer my question. How can you argue that consumers bear no responsibility in animals that they buy, dead animals that they buy, just because they paid a third party to kill that animal? It's like me. Say I kept a bunch of animals in my backyard, but I don't want to kill them. I'll just pay some guy to come over and slaughter them for me, package it up. Hey, I'm absolved of all guilt. You know, some guy killed him for me. I've got nothing to blame. That's what you're saying. That's irrelevant. If you're paying someone to kill an animal or a human for you, you're responsible. Can you argue your way out of this, Kirk? If you can't, we're going to move on, because you just keep trying to throw poop on my wall, violating the Livestream rules, which I clearly showed you before we went down this road, and you're not answering the questions. So anyway, we're going to move on from Kirk. Kirk, I'm going to put you in timeout, not because you have been, you have not been following my rules, but we need to move on to other people, Kirk. So if you want to come back next week and talk about milk or something, feel free to, but we're going to move on. I'm not banning, I'm just going to put you in timeout so we can move on to other things. So you can try to do some mental gymnastics and tell me how me paying some guy to kill Bob absolves me from the guilt, depending on if I pay him before or after the guy's dead, or how that applies to consumers buying meat. Okay, HGG, do you have a question for me? I've seen you trying to say some stuff as I was dealing with Kirk here. So just back up, HGG, just state your point here really clearly and just give me one example, one question. Don't be like Kirk and keep flinging poops on the wall instead of answering the questions. If you ask a question, I will give you an honest answer. I'll use my intellectual abilities as honestly and fairly as I possibly can. And let's take a look at the rules here. Rule number 3, when trying to debunk veganism, I will discuss only one of your claims at a time. Don't bring up new claims. Don't keep throwing poop on the wall like Kirk. Just give me your one best argument or example, and we will give it an honest thinking through. Okay? So give it your best shot. Yeah, VLAM. Let's look at Kirk's idea there. Let's explore Kirk's thoughts there, VLAM. So whose responsibility should it be? The slaughterhouse workers? Which worker? The one who slit the animal's throat? Or the one who guts the animal? It's the whole practice, the whole business, the whole operation. They're all responsible. The fact that that industry exists to kill animals. They have guys who put the guts in the garbage. The whole thing. The whole thing is there designed to efficiently produce animal flesh for consumer purchase. Sustain life. Who's talking about sustaining life, Graham? HGGG. I see you talking to other. Might makes right. It's nature's world's been built. Just come here. Tell me. What point? I missed what you're saying here, HG. Tell me very clearly. One more time, I'm going to give you one last warning. If you just keep mumbling stuff like some kind of bot, I will ban you like a bot. So just tell me, what is the point you are trying to make? Say it as clearly as you possibly can. My hair's starting to curl up right now. Just say it as clearly and simply as you can. What is the point you're trying to make? pretend I'm really stupid, okay? Pretend I'm dumb. Tell me, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say that relates to veganism? How you're debunking veganism, okay? Just tell me. Hug, you said what? Just tell me very clearly and concisely what you said, and we'll take a look at it, okay? Maybe you don't even know your point. Maybe you just love flinging poop out, So just tell us your point. Yeah, VLAM, it's everyone's fault but the innocent consumers, huh? The innocent consumers who pay for the purchase of a dead animal's body. They're totally free of all guilt. Hey, Sarah! Oh my God, thanks for the super chat tip, Sarah. Thank you so much for your super generous super chat tip, Sarah. Much, much appreciated. Very much so, Sarah. Sarah, thanks so much. Towards my next BTS haircut. I want this hair to grow out. Yeah, when I went last time, she cut too much off the front. I told her I want the front to grow out more, and I saw her snip a little bit off the front. I thought it was a little bit, it was more than I thought, but I wanted to grow out. I wanted to get long again, like I had it in the 90s, just grow down. Anyway, but thanks, Sarah. Debunking veganism is a fool's errand. Hey, I'm going to listen to these people, Angry Vegan, with an open mind. So we'll see if HGGH, whatever, can come back and give us his argument rather than repeating stuff like a bot. Henry Pito, don't egg HG on. I want him to answer my question. I want him to state his point very clearly so I can respond to it. Vian Mum, you're growing your nose hair out. Yeah, that happens as we get older too, huh? Hey, Graham, I think, you're responding to HG, huh? You're saying what he's saying is not a relevant point. He's saying some kind of survival of nature. Is that, if he's not going to respond, I'll just make his point for him. Graham, tell me if this was it basically. He's saying, hey, like the world is like the African savannah. Us humans living in cities with Walmarts and Costco's and refrigerators and Instacart and DoorDash and and Grubhub. We're like the animals in the African savannah. It's survive or be killed, right? Or something like that. Your principle is you can do whatever you want as long as you don't get caught. Oh, so you're saying I can murder Bob if I wanted to. As long as I can do it in such a very intelligent way where no one will suspect I did it. If I can somehow get over to Bob's house and kill him, or better yet, maybe pay someone, since we learned now if you pay someone to kill someone for you, you're free of all blame and guilt whatsoever. The judge will buy that as long as you say you're a consequentialist. Anyway, so is that what you're saying, HGGH, is if you can do something evil and immoral, but get away with it, good for you. High five. You just killed Bob Hill and he's, dead and you're scot-free. You're not going to prison. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so HCG is advocating for murdering human beings. What do we do on this channel when we have people advocating for murdering humans? We ban them. And he's doing it in some kind of supremacy thing. So you're gone. Bye-bye. Hasta la vista, murderer. We had a murdering activist here, a murderer activist on tonight. What do you think about that? We had not only, we usually have animal murderer activists, but we had a human murderer activist on, one fighting for the rights of human murderers. Murder humans, he was saying, as much as you can, as long as you can do it in such an intelligent way that you don't get caught. Murder people all you want. Keep murdering up until that moment you finally get caught and have to go to jail. But try to get maybe 100, 200 good murders in before your luck runs out. Wow, what a piece of shit. Yeah, Joseph Logan, instead of murdering people or arguing for or fighting for the rights of murderers, why not just be nice to one another, huh? Vegan, huh? Nothing surprises you anymore, huh? Yeah, and no offense to you, Bob Hill. I picked the name Bob randomly, or maybe not randomly. I saw your name in the chat there, but anyway, I just kept running with the Bob thing because it's kind of nice to have a real example rather than a hypothetical Bob. Let's use Bob Hill as my example to make it more real, because flesh and blood is much more real when you have it in context with a real person rather than an abstract, nebulous person that may or may not exist. Wow, so I can't believe I had a murderer activist on tonight. I can't wait to tell Andrew. I had a guy on tonight who was arguing that we should murder people because it makes you superior. If you can murder people and get away with it, you should do that because that makes you superior to the person you murdered. Wow. Yeah, how do these people find me, Gretchen? How do they, does anyone know? Where did this murderer activist find me? How did this person, hey, I'm a murderer activist. Oh, a vegan has a live stream? Let's go chat with him and I'm going to espouse my pro-murdering points of view to him and see how he reacts to that. Because, like, where do they come from and how they find me? Graham, I'm not sure all carnivores are psychopaths, but some are, and they love trolling here. Well, that's why, Graham, I asked them to very clearly tell me what their point is so I can respond to it. When they just do little troll sound bites, it's harder to. But if I can see their point of view, oh, you're a murder activist, you're out of here. Whew. AJ, thank you.
For the Definition of Veganism Fund.
Yes, I know. I should try to contact the Vegan Society, see if I can get like a consulting position with them on their definition committee, if they have such a thing. 'Cause I think I've thought through their definition as much as anyone there working on their definition. I think I have insights into its implicit and explicit intentions, and I think I could work with them more on it. So if anyone knows the vegan definition, let them know they have someone here who would like to be on their definition committee if they have one. Henry P. thinks that guy just banned was most definitely an anti-vegan troll and dishonest. Either way, if someone is just jokingly trolling for murdering humans, they're gone. I don't care if they're serious or just being a complete trolling a-hole. They're gone. Anyway, I don't care. Any way of shaping, of advocating for human murder, I will ban you. And if I can, I'll notify YouTube to contact the authorities to come check you out. Kirk uses word salad as logic? Who's Kirk using word salad as logic? I haven't seen Kirk using word salad as logic. This special is hurting your head? What special is hurting your head, Sarah? Carl, there was a scene in Alice in Wonderland where a character likes to define things to be the opposite of what they actually are. Yeah, the point of the scene was that he was being ridiculous. Yeah, angry vegan. All the arguments against veganism are really dumb. From Hitler was a vegetarian to protein, though. Lectins, though, yeah. Yeah, I wish we could do that too, Van Moyman. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to get the authorities interested in these murdering human activists, and let alone anti-vegan animal murderers. But I wish, huh? Are you guys fighting with Bob again in VLAN? I missed what Bob was saying tonight, mostly, so I'm not sure what the discussion is about there. What's that, Allison? I can help but feel a type of way of everyone before us who created this hell for us stuck to deal with. Yep, that's what kind of we're in right now. You got it. Gundry should be a banned word on this server. Canines, though. Look at my canine teeth here. That's why I can't be vegan. Circle of life, though, you know? That's why I can't be vegan, because of what happens on the African savannah. Yeah, I don't know what Gundry is either, AJ, so yeah, maybe we're just old and out of touch, huh? Ooh, let me stretch for a second here. How are we doing? Wow, almost an hour and 50 minutes into this live stream. And I was sitting here for a little bit too before with the music video, the Love Spirals music video for Misunderstood, the premiere we did right before this live stream. That was cool. I'm glad a lot of you guys came for that. We had it redirect to this live stream page. But that's good. It's been a crazy ass fun week of music and a lot of ups and downs emotionally. But let me just take a little stretch. Stretching though, veganism debunked. Gundry is the doctor who likes to drink whole cups of olive oil, but lectins though, lectins, which get deactivated when you soak or cook legumes. I don't understand how these people think lectins and legumes are this evil anti-nutrient when it's such a true fact about reality that once you soak and or cook beans, the lectins are deactivated. So why do these guys even talk about them? Like, how many people eat raw hard beans, that's never been soaked or cooked? It just seems like such a disingenuous point. Yeah, a lot of foods are troubling to eat until you cook them, but that's why you cook those foods. Yeah, you don't have to cook everything, obviously. That's why we have all sorts of delicious fruits and stuff. What's that murder activists say? If we weren't meant to be cannibals, why did God make us out of meat? Yeah, he didn't argue that one, huh? Allison, I agree. There's literally no logical, sensible, rational, reasonable reason to not be vegan. I agree with you 100% on that one. Anyone who disagrees, as we saw with my Hassan Piker video, even people I agree with usually on their perspectives on world events, their rationality flies out the window when it comes to veganism because they can't fight it. They can try to fight it and resist it, but they can't successfully argue against it. VLAM, will I respond to our changing climates video on veganism? Inform me a little bit more about that, VLAM. Who is our changing climate and what do they say? I didn't hear about that. Woke hive mind, not related, but what do I think about bidets, gender change ban? I don't understand. I like bidets. Or Biden, you saying? Gender change, there's a gender change ban? Let me get my news fired up here. Where's my phone? Let me fire up my news app. There's a gender change ban right now. Let me see. I'm gonna Google it. Gender change ban. Oh, not bad. I typed in bad. Oh, hang on, ban. And I'm gonna type in news so I get the latest stuff. I see Vladimir Putin 2 weeks ago signs law banning gender changes in Russia. In fact, that's all I see. I don't see anything about Biden or a bidet doing anything of the sort. So what are you talking about? You meant Putin, but you spelled Biden and misspelled it as bidet. I didn't read the articles or anything, but I think any attempt to ban people's, especially adults, I'm not saying this applies to minors, but especially to adults who live in a free country, to do something they want to themselves that harms no one else. But I guess Russia isn't a free country, right? So I can't make that claim. So yeah, that's why we don't want to live under authoritarian dictators. That's why we want to try to live as much as possible in some kind of representative democracy where people have rights in a free country to do things to themselves, for themselves, that don't affect others, whether others agree or disagree. Just like veganism, we're like, what, 1 or 2% of the population? But if there was a ban against, hey, you can't go vegan because us, the majority, the meat-eating majority doesn't like that, we're going to make our dictator ban it, that's not cool. Now, I am a big champion of individual freedoms, particularly those freedoms that don't make other people's lives worse. It doesn't make you suffer. Unless you're a precious snowflake and the sight of seeing someone who changed their gender freaks you out, but that's on you. They didn't do anything to you. They did it to themselves. Just like when someone sees me as a vegan, some people get triggered. That's on them for being a precious snowflake. I didn't go vegan to trigger a precious snowflake. I went vegan for my own personal reasons because I know it's wrong to harm animals when I could just eat plants instead. Yeah, it's kind of the golden rule. What's that, AJ? Bob's, we can save and protect animals without violating human rights. What are you talking about? Yeah, how is going vegan require human rights to be on the decline? How does eating broccoli and potatoes instead of meat and dairy and eggs, how does that require human rights to decline? It's not evident to any of us. So let's hear it, Bob. Let's hear that rationale there. Darlene, do you believe that killing any animal, regardless of size, is wrong under any circumstance? I mean, there's going to be some unintentional killing. Insects are animals, Darlene. Are you aware of that? And I admit, I sometimes unintentionally kill an insect. I might step on a bug. Sometimes in the summer when it's really hot and dry, which hasn't been this summer for us, fortunately, I turn on my bathtub and ants come out, and I think that probably kills them. So no, it's about, let's look at the definition here, which we haven't seen too much of tonight. Veganism is not this idea of absolute perfection where nothing ever gets harmed, and if an animal or a bug gets harmed, veganism is debunked. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. Meaning, yeah, you don't need to kill a pig to eat it. You don't need to kill a cow to eat it. You can eat plants. But if there happens to be an animal that might get harmed when your produce truck is delivering produce to your supermarket, doesn't mean veganism is somehow null and void. It's not a philosophy of perfection. And it doesn't suck being vegan. Woke Hive Mind, you're gone. You're doing some kind of anti-LGBTQ bigotism, and we don't tolerate hate on this channel. So where the hell are you? Because I'm gonna ban your ass right now. Did you ban him right now? I'm gonna ban him right now. I think that's the guy that makes a new account every time. It's a review why I just banned this person right here. Oops, wrong one here. Yeah, rule number one, it's basically don't be a bigot. Don't hate on people for their race, their ethnicity, their gender, be it LGBT or trans, any of that. We don't tolerate bigotry and any promotion of hate on this channel. So, yep, I banned him, Uncle. That's why. I'm just telling you why I banned someone. Not because I'm against free speech and all that crap. I'm against people actively promoting bigotry and hate towards others. Particularly towards those who have a history of having hate shown upon them. Yeah, talking about oxalate, yeah, just soak your beans at home and eat them. Darlene, let's look at it once again. I think you missed the flavor of what I just told you, Darlene. Or were you listening? How veganism is not a philosophy of perfection. Let me put you up on the wall so you can't wiggle out of this, okay? So let's get the rules put away, and we'll get you here now. Oops, wrong one.
Cruel.
Oh shoot, wrong one.
I'm going to leave your
I moved
words on this
some of
board
my
for all my
sounds
classes
around to
enjoy,
different
giving you
keys
full
on my
credit
keyboard,
for it.
so I'm having trouble remembering now because I'm vegan. All right, Darlene asks, all medicines are tested on animals. Therefore, based on your definition, it's a cruel industry, so taking medicine is considered wrong. Again, let's look at the definition of veganism. It's a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practical, all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Which means it's not, veganism is not a death cult. if you need to take a medicine in order to heal or not feel pain because you're in pain, or to stay alive, take the medicine, because it's not vegans' fault. It's not anyone's fault that we have archaic laws that require here in the United States, the FDA, to do some tests on animals before any medication gets approved. If you need anything, I think the only drug that hasn't ever gone through FDA testing is aspirin, because it's so old. Other than aspirin, if you take any medicine, it's gone through animal testing. So you're saying, in order to be vegan, Darlene, let me put you up here. So you're saying in order to be a vegan, vegans need to be prepared to sacrifice their lives and say, hey, I'm not going to take that life-saving medicine because it was tested on animals. So I'm going to die in the name of veganism because that's what veganism asks of me. No, it doesn't ask you to freaking die. It says as far as possible and practicable. It's not really possible to find medicines, at least in this country, that haven't gone through FDA animal testing. So there's no solution to it. Yeah, it's not perfect, but we're not a death cult. I think Darlene wants to make us a death cult. We have to follow it literally. No harm or cruelty whatsoever. You have to follow that, or else you're a hypocrite. No, we're not martyrs. Veganism is not a death cult. And if we did follow it like a death cult, imagine how no one would ever go vegan. We would be the laughing stock of the world. You vegans are nuts. You guys are like not taking medicines and dying for your beliefs. No, if you got to take a medicine, take a medicine. The thing is, drugs tested on animals is typically not a continual, ongoing thing. The tests are done to seek FDA approval. Once they receive that approval, the testing is done. It's not like, oh, we need you to test it again and again and again. It's not like eating meat every day, which animals get killed again and again. So one-shot deal, it's over, medicine's approved, and now all people can safely take the medicine. Well, I know about safely, there could be some problems, but you know what I'm saying. Anyone else in the coconut cult? You can be in the coconut cult, but veganism is not a death cult. Let me just give you my 2 cents. If you ever see a vegan advocating that you should be able to be prepared in your mind to sacrifice your life and the life of your kids, maybe, if they're vegan along with you. You have to be prepared to do some kind of minor Jonestown massacre on yourself and your family if veganism asks you of that. No, we're not some freaking death cult like Jim Jones. If you see anyone advocating for that kind of bullshit, run away and tell them to shut up with their stupid death cult crap. Anyway, let's talk about something more positive than Reverend Jim Jones and Jonestown. All right. Whew, so true, Ryan. Thanks, Allison. AG, I'm not sure what Bob is telling you, but I agree with what AG saying at Bob Hill. Giving animals rights, such as eating broccoli and beans instead of a cow, what'd you say to him? Does not force humans to do anything bad. Because all it means now is humans are growing plants for the humans to eat, but humans were already growing plants for the animals to eat. In fact, humans were growing way more plants for the animals to eat, because animals require more livestock feed than what humans need to just feed ourselves as humans. So how does us growing and raising fewer plants for us all to eat and not eating the animals, how does that make human rights decline, Bob? I want to hear your reasoning on that. How does growing fewer plants and killing fewer animals decrease human rights? Yeah, plant production decreases, animal killing decreases, but you're saying along with that, human rights decrease? Show me the connection, Bob. Show me the money. Durian is a death cult to your friendships, dude? I mean, like, because it's so stinky and divides people? A good point, Sarah. If everyone just could get a nice massage once a week, that'd probably help a lot of things on this planet. Well, Bob, I think vegan groups such as, like, say, the PCRM and the Good Food Institute, I don't know if they're fully vegan, have as much right to lobby on behalf of plants and eating plants, just as much as the dairy and meat industries have even more well-funded lobbyist branches of their industries to lobby governments. Why should the vegans not be able to lobby and try to get their voices heard when the meat and dairy industries have been doing so for centuries and not centuries, decades and decades? I think we have every right in this democracy to talk to people in government and influencers in government to try to get some of our ideas heard. What is democratic about that? How do human rights decrease that we're just going to try some of the lobbying tactics that the meat and dairy industry have been enjoying all this time and since before us? So how is that? How come they get to do whatever the hell they effing want, but we have to sit back and be silent? So vegans are second-class citizens. We can't make our voices known to public officials, but the meat and dairy industries can. We have to sit on the back of the bus quiet. So I get it. You're doing the second-class argument, the second-class citizen argument. I've termed this recently for arguments like this, where vegans have fewer rights than non-vegans. So yeah, vegan lobbyists, fewer rights. We sit silently on the back of the bus. Animal agriculture activists can do whatever the F they want. I get it. That makes so much sense. The second-class citizen argument. You heard it here first, guys. That's the new term I've came up with in the past couple of weeks. The second-class citizen argument. All right, Darlene, you're still back at it. You still don't understand that veganism has nothing to do with perfection. So let's do it one more time here.
I'm going to leave your words on this board for all my classes to enjoy, giving you full credit, of course.
And we're going to give Darlene full credit for, once again, how she doesn't understand what veganism is. But then you're paying more for the development of better medicine, which will involve testing on more animals. Did you hear, Darlene, how the FDA testing works? Once they've done the tests, which involve animals in some of the tests, they don't require ongoing, like, annual or biannual testing to recertify. They got the certification that the medicine is released to the public. So that point is off. So you're also promoting animal cruelty, aren't you? Just like meters. No, you're just, darling, you're arguing for vegans to kill themselves. If we look at the definition, once again, it says nothing about being perfect. It's as far as possible and practicable. In fact, the Vegan Society anticipated knuckleheads like you that don't understand this definition. So let's see what they actually said here. Medicine. Are you reading it with me here? Currently, all medicine in the UK, where they're based, must be tested on animals before it is deemed safe for human use. But please note, the Vegan Society does not recommend you avoid medication prescribed to you by your doctor. A vegan who is looking after themselves the best they can, is an asset to the movement, meaning don't kill yourself. Don't have your health suffer. What you can do is ask your doctor or pharmacist to provide you, if possible, with a medication that does not contain products such as gelatin or lactose. And they give you some links there. So again, this philosophy of veganism, of as far as possible and practical, all forms of cruelty and exploitation of animals, yeah, it's as far as possible and practical. If you need to take a medicine, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to die for veganism? Supposed to be some kind of weird martyr? Well, thank you, Darlene. You can speak for yourself, but I am not going to die so I can make Darlene Waldron happy, okay? I'm not going to die for some unknown hater of vegans. No, if I need to take a medicine, I'll take a medicine. I can't help what our government does, and that's why we need lobbying groups to lobby our government, Bob. You think vegan lobbyists are second-class citizens who have no right to engage government policymakers? Well, we need to. We need to argue that animal testing of medicines is archaic. We have computers, models that can do a fine job now. Epidemiology is way further along now than it was like in the 50s or 60s when they started this nonsense. So we need vegan lobbyists to change these laws. But until then, Darlene Waldron, we cannot speed up laws changing any quicker than it has to happen. So until then, yeah, we still got to take medicines if need to, and we're not going to die for Darlene Waldron. Bob. Okay, now I'm going to put Darlene on timeout. I think we've dealt with Darlene's point is way too long. So I'm going to put Darlene in timeout. Darlene Waldron. And we're going to move on to Bob now, because Bob's is going off again. All right, so where did this comment from Bob? Because you're way up. Bob, you should know better than this. How long you been watching my live streams now, Bob? For quite a long time. And for you to say something as ridiculous as this, really, I feel like I've been a bad teacher, Bob. If you are still saying nonsense like this, I feel I have failed you, Bob. Let me read what Bob wrote here. He's talking to Henry P. So you admit the point of veganism is to take away the current right to eat meat. Well, Bob, let's look at the definition of veganism here. It's a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. It shows you what goes on in a vegan's mind. Why I am vegan. When I look out in the world and I see an animal being exploited, I see an animal being slaughtered for food or for a leather seat, that's wrong. I don't need to sit on a leather seat. I don't need to eat a piece of cow or pig. I can eat plants. It's a personal decision. Where do you get on this that it has something to do with taking humanity's rights away? It's talking about what people do as individuals. It doesn't say anything here, and we will organize together to stop Bob and others from doing their thing. No, it doesn't. It's a choice. I can't make you vegan. I can say I forced you to eat a plant-based diet, Bob, or that girl I just banned. Doesn't mean you'll automatically become vegan. In order to become vegan, it's not just the food. You have to believe a certain thing, that you're eating the food because there's no other ethical choice left. Once you understand that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong, you're going to eat plants. That's all it's left, plants and fungi. So there's nothing in here about organizing the world to become exactly like us. We have the right to free speech, Bob. We have the right to talk to people like Bob and Darlene, and we have the right to lobby governments as too, to make our points and our ideas heard, especially on a national, even global level. But where do you get this idea that the point of veganism is to take the right away to eat meat? Here's the point of veganism. It's right now written in a definition. If what Bob is saying is true about the point of veganism, don't you think it would be mentioned here in maybe the most widely known definition of veganism here, one that goes back to the 1940s? This contains the point of veganism, that we're against animal cruelty and exploitation. What Bob is saying here is not contained in any way, shape, or form in the definition. It's not even implied or suggested in the most vaguest sense. So Bob, you're making stuff up, and if that's what you still believe, I have failed you as a vegan educator here. I don't know where you pulled that out of. You just pulled that out of thin air or out of your butt. But you didn't pull it out of my teachings here. Bob, Bob says, there are radicals who want to force people to go plant-based. Yeah, and there's radicals that come here and tell me that I have to eat meat. That you have radicals on both sides. But why are you using the voice of the minority radicals as the general opinion, the general consensus? It's not my opinion, and it's not the opinion of the Vegan Society or pretty much any definition of vegan I've ever seen personally. You're again focusing on a loud minority who doesn't represent anything other than some extremists, basically. Just like I know meat eaters typically aren't like the insane, wacky extremists that come here and say all this complete racist, horrific nonsense to me. And ageist nonsense to me. I know they're just radical bigots, and I know they don't represent the true general consensus of meat eaters, Bob. Do you understand that? Just because some radical has said something crazy, wacky, and extreme, you don't blame the whole movement or the whole class of people for what a few bad apples said. Just like I don't blame you, Bob, for some of the wacky, zany stuff meat eaters have said about me. Bob, radicals can believe whatever they want. Bob, I'm just telling you, what's in the definition of veganism here? If it were true, what if you were saying here is true, Bob, that the point, you're saying not a secondary or tertiary or minor point of veganism, you're saying the point, the main point, the primary point of veganism is to take away the right to eat meat. Well, you would think the definition of veganism might vaguely suggest it, like it suggests that in the third to last line, at least on my screen here, that about it has something to do with the environment a little bit, but that's not the main point. The main point is animal cruelty and exploitation. So even the environment, which is like a tertiary point, gets mentioned down below. You would think if the main point had something to do with taking Bob's right away, it would be mentioned here. Well, they wouldn't mention Bob, but the right to eat meat would be mentioned in here. It's not. So you're making stuff up based on your interpretation or your experience with a few extremist radicals, which is very disingenuous. Base it upon people like myself who are reasonable people who reflect the general consensus, use well-defined definitions of veganism that go back for decades, older than pretty much any vegan I know. Vegan Han asked Bob, what is more radical, Bob? To exploit, abuse, and murder someone? Or for people to force other people to stop them from exploiting, abusing, and murdering others? That's excellent food for thought there, huh, Vegan Han? Yeah, Uncle, killing an animal with your bare hand is a horrible thought, huh? Yeah, not to mention the animal, the government subsidies, Allison, that animal agriculture demands. They feel they're entitled to all this free money from our government. They don't believe in free market capitalism. Yeah, V-Lam agreed with Milo. No one has the right to exploit another being. The thing is, how do we bring about that change? Do we bring it about through some radical extremism, or do we bring it about through more peaceful means, such as lobbying, such as vegan outreach and education, such as like what I do and Ed Winters and Joey Carbstrong and vegan medical doctors and so on and so forth. Peaceful vegan representation rather than extreme, almost bordering on terroristic types that Bob seems to think represents the mainstream and norms of veganism, which they are not. Yeah, I bet Joey spoke out there, huh? That's cool. I've never met Joey yet in real life. That's cool. That's cool, Peter. I would like to hear Joey speak in person. AJ asks, so Bob, you want to do away with laws against human rape and murder? Bob, well, we're not talking about some kind of terroristic revolution or anything, Bob. We're talking about peaceful but forceful vegan outreach, like mine and Joey's and many others. I've never heard Joey say he wants to send families of meat eaters into prison. I've heard people try to put those words in him, but that's not how I've ever heard Joey describe it once. That he wants to imprison basically 98% of Great Britain's population. Wow. All right, should we ban Erie here for trolling? You better tell us, how is Joey not peaceful? Tell me one violent thing he's done. Besides, ages ago, before when he was eating meat, how he was in a gang and went to jail or anything like that. But yeah, as a vegan activist, what has Joey done? He snuck into a slaughterhouse and took video footage. Didn't harm anyone other than the emotions of the meat producers, but no one got physically harmed. I hope, VLAM, but people are pretty stupid and in denial for a long time about so many things, like climate issues, vegan issues. I don't know. We need people to wake up quicker than ever. Yeah, time him out, Peter. Please do so. I think he's just that guy that comes back. Yes, Peter. Please time that guy out. Thank you. Yes, AJ, Joey turned away from violence as a gang member and is now a peaceful vegan advocate fighting for innocent animals, voiceless animals. Thanks, Peter. Jalen says, I haven't fact checked this, but I'll read what Jalen said. 83% of what wolves eat in July is blueberries. But I guess they're obligate carnivores or something in these people's minds, huh? Yeah, Allison, that's like Hassan Pike or people like him be like, we need change now. And the same breath knock on direct action. Like, just maybe if you really care about how it's getting really warm in the summer, maybe you could not consume animal products, because animal products are the number one cause, animal agriculture is the number one source of greenhouse gas emissions. Wow, Peter, that's powerful. I'll see if I can see a video of that. Cool. I wish so too, Milo. Yeah. We need some kind of change to happen quicker. Hey, good night, Be Unique Anti-Bullying Channel. I like your channel name, by the way. All right, how are we doing here? 2 hours and 20 minutes. Holy smokes, I've been on a long time. I should probably think about joining Be Unique, the anti-bullying channel, and get going myself. Have some dinner, join up with Angie. I didn't go to the gym today, so I actually need to take a shower or bath or something. I feel pretty dirty because I did work out at home. So yeah, it's 8:17 my time. So yeah, I'm about ready for some food. Peter says Tash Peterson's entire speech is up on her channel. She spoke at Vegan Campout too. Awesome. Wow. They flew her out from Australia. That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to come out. If I ever get a cat sitter, pet, a house watcher, I'll consider. I gotta get one soon because I need to visit Hawaii and look around the Big Island. I've never been there yet. Yeah, I don't know, Uncle. Either some Tuscan kale pilaf from our book, or Panda Express. We'll see how we're feeling. So if any last second questions, especially ones that won't take a long time for me to answer, I'll go through them now, but yeah, I'm pretty beat. Go on the list and vote for Happy Healthy Vegan Ron. They're awesome. Gretchen, no, I'm really poor. I'm really bad about knowing about as many activists and especially up and coming ones as you guys are. You guys are always helping me and educating me. So no, I'll keep that name in mind. Cliff Grant, an up and coming vegan activist. So we'll give him a shout out right now. Thanks, Hope. Thanks for the stream and belated happy birthday. Thank you so much. Yeah, AJ, yeah, we were talking about Maui earlier. Yeah, if you watch a replay of the stream, yeah, that was kind of covered, I was talking about that for maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of the live stream. And yeah, it's been devastating for Maui residents, Maui and Hawaiian culture, and me emotionally too. My poop wall is showing. Thank you, Uncle. I don't need to be showing the poop wall anymore. Thanks for letting me know. If I ever leave the poop wall on when it doesn't need to be on, remind me. I just forget. I'm getting old and stupid now because I'm vegan and all. So anyway, no, I'm not getting old. I'm getting old because I'm vegan. That's what VD says. I would be like 32 years old if I weren't vegan. Okay, Cliff has been doing street advocacy for a long time, just new to social media. Wow, that's cool. Those are handmade for each other, so good for him. Yeah, AJ, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, basically, Lanai's gone. Yeah, Lanai, as we know, it will never be the same. And I'm really bummed because, yeah, when I was in Maui last year, I was hoping to make it out to Lanai. I didn't. And yeah, if I ever go again, it won't be like how it was. All the history gone. Wow, Uncle, I'll look for that on YouTube. I kind of been taking a fancy lately for the police chases in the LA area. If I don't catch it live, the algorithm knows now to suggest them to me, and I'll watch them after the fact. So Uncle's saying there was a car van chased through Hermosa, where Uncle lives at, earlier today. They got trapped to the Redondo Pier. Wow, I want to see that. All right, I'm gonna check that out, because that's something the algorithm is trained that I click those on. I can't resist. Okay, thanks for banning that person again, Uncle or Peter. Thank you so much. Oh no, it's still there. How come I'm seeing that comment? Oh, here it is. Hang on one second. Wow, you ended up in the water, AJ? Oh man, don't give me any spoilers there. All right. Yes, I agree. Totally, and especially if they're in like LA, you know, like my area here. I can't believe how many stupid people there are. It seems like every day almost here in the LA area, there's a high-speed chase. I remember when I was younger, it seemed like they happened once in a while, but I don't know, it's now because of the internet, they can show more of them, but it seems like every day there's some idiot out there who thinks, hey, they're committing a lesser crime, and they're going to elevate it to some, like, you know, like yesterday I saw one guy who drove his car into a bunch of police officers. One had to dive for his life, not getting ran over. Like, they will switch it over to something that'll put them in prison for like decades, when they just could have had a crime where they would have got out in 5-6 months or something. People are just so stupid. Pretty close to it, AJ? Oh man, okay. Uncle, now Catalina's, it's pretty and all, but I think it's a tough place to live, really expensive, and just tourists come all the time, you know, especially on Avalon, the main place people live. It's just like a tourist-only economy, and I want to live somewhere where I tell you, I don't want to be around as many people, and it's just tons of people. It's just more crowded than Long Beach, actually, like density of people in Avalon. That's Catalina. Else, you've been watching crime docos? Yeah. Oh, okay, the channel Unseen. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, we've been watching crime and cult docos. Hey, Mazzy, we need speed cameras. Huh. Yeah, Avalon, that's all you can do, rent a golf cart. I'm surprised how many people go there and start renting golf carts. Like, you can walk the island. Avalon is pretty small. You don't need a golf cart. But I think, I see a lot of males. They seem really insecure when they get there. Like, I need to drive my family, but I can't have a car. I got to get a golf cart. I don't know. That's what I've seen. I don't understand. Just walk around. It's beautiful. You can get around, get some exercise. You don't need to get a golf cart. But anyway, maybe I'm just cheap. I am kind of cheap. Whew, that's how I can get by, being kind of lowish income, but I'm cheap. Don't have kids. Watch my money and wear clothes and shoes till they fall apart. That's just how I am. Anyway, guys, thanks. I should get going. I'm feeling pretty chill now. I'm feeling pretty wiped out from all the stuff I've done this week. If you didn't know what I've done this week, watch the first 15 odd minutes of this live stream on replay. We talk about it all again, but it's been a wild ride this week, especially getting some new music released, new and old music released. It's been a great week as far as that goes. I'm jealous, Milo, stretching on your lanai. Hopefully one day I shall have a lanai where I live at. But for now, I'm going to go have some dinner and enjoy it on my couch. I don't even sit on the couch when I just sit on the floor or on a little chair. I'm like Asians, you know, you see them sitting on the floor and on little chairs. That's me. Maybe, I don't know if it's in the genes or what, but I don't know. I just don't like to sit on the couch when I eat. I like to chill out on something other than that. Anyway, 3/4 Chinese, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. All right, so cool, guys. Thank you for coming to the Friday live stream. Thanks for everyone who made it earlier too for the music video premiere, which preceded this live stream by about 10 minutes or so. That was fun to share it with you guys. So I'll try to get a new video out next week. We have a lot of stuff going on still. I told all the music promotions, and our wedding anniversary is before next Friday. I won't say exactly what date or anything like that. That's coming up too. We just had my birthday, so a lot of stuff happens this time of year for us. So yeah, we got that. we've made a plan, I told you a while ago, we will celebrate our wedding anniversary in August, but we really like our dating anniversary even more, which was in December. So we try to do more on the December one than the August one, but we still acknowledge the August one. We still like the August date because it's so crowded. It's still the middle of summer. Everyone's out touristing and clogging up all the spots and stuff. So we'll still do something, but we really go hard on the December one if we can, if it's not raining or something like that. So anyway, yeah, I'll get a video out for sure. I'll keep my eyes open for a good story. And thanks everyone for being here tonight. Thanks for Peter and Uncle for moderating. Good to have you back, Peter. Yeah, we've missed you for a while. But sounds like you had a great time, an awesome and amazing time at Vegan Camp Out in England. And who knows, maybe my life will be freed up next year where I can go travel if I'm asked to come or something like that. I'm not begging you guys to go do the voting because I feel bad if I would get asked or invited and I can't go because I just simply don't have a house sitter. But anyway, yeah, Ace, it's done tonight, Ace. You can watch the replay or come back next week. All right, guys. So let's see. I don't think I have any other announcement for you guys other than I love you all. I love your support. I love your appreciation, and I appreciate your appreciation. So thank you so much for being here with me on these live streams and just being part of my extended online vegan family. All right, guys. That's enough for tonight. I'm going to go see what Angie's doing, get some dinner happening. And until next time, guys, remember, doesn't suck being vegan. Peace out.